Excuse me? Whoa, 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 what is going on with my windows? Hold on. Okay, okay, there we go. Oh, that scared me a bit. Oh. Because like, my windows went all weird for a moment. Also, I may or may not be all tapping a lot because I really want to grind out something in, whoops, in Romancing Saga. But, yeah. Also, what am I kicking? Oh, right, my box. I know I'll get that later. But anyways, yeah. We finally got through case 4 the other night. And here we go. The final case. The resolve of Ryunosuke. Naruhodo. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh no, monologue? Oh, we're just going straight in. Oh shit. That's how you know. That's how you know this is serious. No monologue, just straight in. I mean, that and like usually the monologues are just like retellings and stuff of like, or just openings of like Herlock Sholmes's stories. So yeah, this time it's gonna be all about Ryunosuke, Kazuma, and everything else that's related to them. Also, is this a different track? This is a different track, right? Oh my god, this is one hell of a build-up for the finale. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna need a drink. Okay. So, the time's finally come. Today, we unravel everything. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Mr. Sato. Mr. Sato. Oh, whoop! Oh no, well, what's the matter, Mr. Naruto? Nothing? Oh, you're saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but... Oh, I'm so sorry. Of course. I know I can be rather incompetent at times, but... I shan't let you down. Would you mind helping me to my feet then? Oh dear, I'm really very sorry. What the fuck did she focus? Susato-san isn't her usual self at all. That's hardly surprising, I suppose. She's just found out that her father is the partner of a world-famous detective, not to mention... Ah, good morning, sir. Huh? Lord Van Zeeks. Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. Oh, what? Did I hear that correctly? What? No, nothing. Just, I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday. Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruto. Oh, good point. The Reaper, I suppose in hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all this. But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zeeks. It's only because serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, is it? To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. That having been slain by that evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returned as some sort of demigod to wield the deadly blade of justice where I, by dint of the law, could not. Yes, we've heard that story too. When I lost him, I felt as though I lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even if I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public. He was obviously extremely important to you, Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond the shadow of a doubt in court today. I never thought I'd say this, but I could see it in your eyes, that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you. Now tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air? Iris. Oh, Iris, when did you get here? Oh. I brought you one of my special blends. Harley loves it. He says it helps him to clear his head. I thank you. Oh. That's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. You seem different today, Iris. Oh. Sort of subdued, I suppose. I am not. What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Sith's laboratory. Alright then. Good luck to you both. I'll have to make a move now. Oh, you're not staying? She's gonna whip out like some final piece of evidence, like when everything is going to hell. Oh my god. I thought you wanted to watch today's proceedings. Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready. Get ready? For what? Oh yes. Would you take this? Isn't that one of the little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your knapsack? Yes, it's a lucky charm. A little Hurley that I made once. Hurley. Looks like a Harley to me. Hey. If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, oh my god, they're hiding fucking crucial evidence inside a fucking doll.
Then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can.
What? Pull his ears?
That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it.
Been told to tug its ears if I run out of options. This is legal, right? Oh, who am I kidding? Okay, hold on. I need to rearrange some cables. Sorry. There we go.
You think what we'll need is luck? I just sneaked a peek inside the courtroom, and it seemed very different to normal.
Different? Yes, it would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops.
What does that mean?
Okay, hold on. One thing I don't like about my arrangement is that the cable keeps getting caught on, like, the corner of my armrest.
What about Mr. Sholmes, Iris? I don't know. He was out all night and hadn't come home by the time I left this morning. Oh, I see. Was Professor Mikotoba out all night too, do you think, Mr. Sato? Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently, they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all.
They?
Father, and Judge Jigoku, I mean.
Judge Jigoku too?
That's right. Nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Please make your way inside the courtroom at once.
Good luck then, Runo. Good luck, Susie.
Yes, thanks, Iris.
And you too, Mr. Reaper. I hope it goes well.
Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing.
Oh, I'm so glad. We must go inside now, Lord Van Zieks.
Oh?
Lord Van Zieks has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today, I battle with another, in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Asugi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, to this one final reckoning.
God, I'm loving this build up. I'm loving this build up. How different are we talking here? Judge? Where'd you go?
It feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides today. Oh! Mr. Naruhodo, look!
Oh shit! Hey Maritsu. Oh, Lord Stronghart.
Cosmo must have known beforehand.
The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal system. The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak. Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial. Oh shit, he's standing! And one over which I, Mael Stronghart, exercise total and unequivocal authority. Holy shit!
The 6th juror flames just...
As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process.
The unicorn... Oh yeah, his cane's different.
In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Stronghart. On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Van Zieks. You were a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact. Ooh. Damn, the sound's different too. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session for the trial of Baron Van Zieks, who officially stands accused of murder. Counsels for the prosecution and defense, are you in full readiness to proceed?
The defense is ready, my lord. As is the prosecution.
Yesterday's proceedings brought light to a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard.
Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret which Scotland Yard knew nothing about.
And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice.
Mr. Daily Vigil, who will be given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. And in that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work, when in fact he wasn't.
At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories of the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation, because whilst he was engaged as chief warder on Barclay Prison, he abetted the convicts' escape.
Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He's recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League.
Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed 1 day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound.
The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord.
Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asugi.
I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on 31st October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details.
But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday, that the time of death was 5 p.m. on 1st November.
There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems that the natural decaying process of the victim may have been slowed by keeping it chilled.
That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse.
My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly.
Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident.
It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his Rio movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities.
Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding these activities?
Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating that precise matter yesterday.
Huh?
I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So the prosecution calls its first witness now.
So Gina?
Hey. State your name and occupation for the court. Inspector Gina Lestrade reporting. Representative of Scotland Yard. A self-conferred rank, but never mind. Gina, again. What's your problem, Otto? What's with that, Gina, again? Look, eh? The boss meant the world to me. He died more for me than anyone else ever did.
Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean?
He got me out of the back slums of the East End and took me under his wing. Told me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him. Oh, Gina.
Right, all out of the goodness of Gregson's heart.
Not at all that he had his arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes, no.
What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigation yesterday has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about. Very troubling.
That face. Lord Stronghart knew.
So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in that report.
Coming right up, sir.
Wait, hold on. What the fuck? Oh, no, here we go. Sorry, my mouse is like getting caught on something. The victim's movements.
All Yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. When a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a load of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled good dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't out onto it yet. What matters most is, there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at the place too. Smuggled goods? I don't know, do I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book. Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of at regular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time. So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets. It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority, without the Yard's knowledge. And do we know where the dealings were taking place this time? In a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentleman's club. on the day in question. The accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter. Well, that can't be. We haven't heard anything about this. Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. The accused, Beric Van Zeeks, was present. That would be very significant testimony then. Oh my, but... Lord Van Zeeks made no mention of this at all. In short, Lord Van Zeeks had ample opportunity to murder the victim. God damn that gavel. Very well. Counsel for the defense. Begin your cross-examination.
Hold it!
So, you follow orders, do you, Gina?
No shit!
Nah, not me. I'm above all that, see? Oh. Oh. The boss always had special orders for me. Grab us some fish and chips, or go and give Toby his grub. That kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, she's the coffee girl.
So, errands more than orders then. This detective is still an apprentice after all. Yeah, well, this apprentice ain't one to sit around and wait to be told what to do, even by the boss. That's why I've been doing me own investigations into what happened. I didn't find much at first. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a load of secret meetings in it.
Oh, whoops, I dip. Hold it!
So you went through Inspector Gregson's things. Yep, as part of the independent Lestrade investigation. I'm sure your superiors will be delighted that you're taking the initiative. So I snuck into his office when no one else was about. Cause if anyone at the yards had seen me going in there, they would have turfed me straight out on the street. This is sounding less and less like an investigation and more like something else. The prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook. You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade and a trusty assistant, Chief Inspector Toby. We found it hidden in one of his desk drawers that had a false bottom. That's impressive. So then I went to hide myself where no one could find me, so I could have a butcher's at what was written in it. A butcher's? Because if anyone at the yard found me out, they'd have turned me straight out on the street. I'm giving it in now though, ain't I? And if it weren't for me, it wouldn't never have been found. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled good dealings that day.
Hold it!
Do you have any idea where those dealings were taking place? Yep. It was all there in the boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember. As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club. Yes, I remember, but I was hoping to find out the name of the club. That won't be necessary. What? It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smugglers in the future. So wait, butchers is traditional Cockney rhyming slang. Butchers hook, look. Ah, interesting. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name of these proceedings. I don't know what the fuss is all about. He's right here. All I gotta do is read it out loud.
Yeah.
And I could too. I've got this reading game buttoned up now. Can I show you what I can do? Go on, what's the harm? The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do? Also, I want to look at this real quick. What a charming little rabbity version of Mr. Sholmes. You suppose this is how Iris sees him? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Your eyes are veritably boring into the poor doll's ears. Oh, sorry. I was just wondering, what do you suppose would happen if I were to tug its ears with all my might right now? I'm sure that we'll find out when the time is right. To become a proper gentleman, you must really learn stoic patience. I don't want to know. Look at this dark stain here. Do you think? Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood. Oh, I knew you were going to say that. So that presumably means that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes. I think Jean has been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. Whoops. Have you seen this huge gash across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind. Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged. Whatever made the gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force. I wonder how it happened. Let's have a look inside. I just want to double check like all the stuff we need to inspect here. Do you see that? There's something stuck in the side of the trunk there. It's glinting. It looks like a fragment of metal of some kind. But it's wedged in so tightly, I can't remove it. But don't cut yourself. You'd better leave it, I think. So I guess like someone wanted to cut. So it was cut with the thing open, otherwise we would have seen a mark on top here. I wonder if like Gregson was like crouched or hunched over to try to take out something, and then whoever had that knife just try to go for the wide slash like when he wasn't looking or something like that. Look, there's something inside. Ooh, let's see. It appears to be a passport, authorizing him to travel overseas. Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then? Perhaps the date of departure might tell us something that was... Oh, what is it? It was for travel on 31st October, just one day before the incident. What? Really? Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered. Oh yeah, we already got it, yeah. Okay. Let's wait and see, because if... Yeah, let's insist anyway. This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked. As I explained, there is some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. Prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine. No, my lord. The prosecution has no objection. Stronghart? Why do you look pretty, angry about this? Kazuma. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on that particular trail on the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of being obstructive. Right then, I get to show off me reading skills. Apparently the smuggled goods deal was gonna happen at a gentleman's club called the Gross.
Hold it!
The Gross? What kind of club is that? Quick health report, no. Red hairpiece. I doubt there's anything in here, but that's it for the hell of it. Yeah, nothing to be gained here. Okay. I ain't got the foggiest. Clubs ain't exactly my thing. But I am kinda curious. There are not places where a foreign student like you would be readily admitted. Have you looked in the mirror recently? Wait, actually, wait, how old is... Wait, how old is Ryunosuke? Cosmo's 24. I assume Ryunosuke's, is Ryunosuke the same age? Or maybe just slightly younger? I'm not sure. I tell you what. Me and Chief Inspector Toby could go in undercover. Could you though? Or could you though? I could pick out a few good marks and see what else I could find out while I was in there. Or what? I don't really think you should go picking out anything. Anyway, that's where these black market dealings were going to take place, is it? Yeah, it's gotta be. That's what the lower ranking detectives at the yard reckon. Says the even lower ranking detective. So how had Inspector Gregson come to find out about it in that case? No, I don't think... No, there shouldn't be anything that... Nah. That's the question, ain't it? But I'm just an apprentice, so... Why didn't he inform Scotland Yard of his findings? Yeah, that's what I was asking myself. Cause, you know, I'm just an apprentice. When it suits you, yes. Anyway, the point is, something went on at that club, no question. You can't say that for certain though, really, or surely.
it!
Lord Van Zieks was at the club. He was. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted to the room in question, as a guest. It looks like there's no disputing that he was there then. Well, we know that Lord Van Zieks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he'd already discovered the inspector's secret notebook. Which led him to the club, you mean? Maybe. Presumably then there are also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregson was there. None have been identified at this time, no. So the all-important victim wasn't seen at this mysterious club. Oi! Why'd you ask an Inspector Lestrade, eh? So that's all I've got to work with. Gina's not holding back with that ice-cold stare of hers, is she? I really don't know what to make of all this. Lord Van Zieks told us that he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never once mentioned that he met the inspector the day before the incident. You don't think Lord Van Zieks could have been lying to us, do you? That's not the only way to explain this. Oh. If everything Lord Van Zieks has told us is true, then there must be a mistake in this testimony somewhere. Okay, wait, hold on. You mean, there are details we've yet to uncover? Exactly. A clue, perhaps, that even Gina hasn't noticed. That's what we should be looking for here. Smuggled, coppers went onto it. So I guess, like, maybe the third statement, but then, okay, hold on. So there must be a mistake in the testimony if Van Zieks is right. So that's whatever smuggled goods was gonna happen at the Gentleman's Club. No, can't really do anything with that. Oh, the only thing I'm thinking about is just Gregson's trunk. Oh, hold on.
Hold it!
So Inspector Gregson had to go on and find out about it. Just an apprentice, went in Scotland Yard. Ask him his stuff because I'm just an apprentice when it suits you. Something went on in that club without question. Can't say that for certain though, surely. Something went on in that club, you can't say for certain. Maybe I present the trunk there? Let me take a look at the fifth statement one more time, and then...
Hold it!
let me see. Lord Van Zieks was at the club. He was visited yesterday. Having confirmed it. Accused. Rumor in question. No, so there's no disputing that he was there then. Okay, so then that would mean we don't really bother with the fifth statement. So we all know Lord Van Zieks was investigating Inspector Gregson. Already discovered the secret notebook, which led to club. Maybe eyewitnesses to testify that Gregson was there. None have been identified. A clue that Gina hasn't noticed. Saw the Reaper at the place too. Within 1 week from 31st October. Wait. Coppers went on it. They're witnesses. Okay, so I don't think we show anything here. Big job, but Coppers went on to it weren't onto it yet. No, I don't think there's. Okay, wait. I don't want to just say screw it and toss one out just yet. Like, it's the very start of case 5. I don't want to just like say fuck it and toss something out. Wait, so then there's a clue that Gina missed herself. So that's all I got to work with. Lord Van Zieks told us he was investigating Inspector Gregson. That he never once mentioned that he met the inspector. So the reason why Van Zieks didn't mention looking for Gregson. So if he did, so if he did meet with, wait, if everything Lord Van Zieks said was true.
Hold it!
Yeah, so like first one's a throwaway.
Hold it!
Yup, independent investigation. Surprised your superiors. Stuck into office. Would've tossed me out. False bottom. Have a look at it. Okay. A good deal is gonna happen at a gentleman's club called the Gross. No, we already kind of solved the whole Red-Headed League thing, or I guess earlier, so I don't think this is really relevant. So, not relevant, this is just a ticket for the steamship. This Dark City young man. Yeah, no, this is not relevant. Candelabrum. So we know that Gregson, or we can assume that Gregson died, or was it? No, not assume, but, or at least with the information we have, his actual time of death was 31st. So... Oh, this is issued for travel to France before the day before his body was discovered. They saw the place. Man, I'm really drawing a blank right now. What am I not recognizing?
Objection!
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, at this point, I'm just gonna toss something out. Make it out of this courtroom alive. I'm pretty sure I got the wrong thing here.
Objection!
Seemed a little questionable. Yeah, no, I think I'm getting the wrong thing here. So wait, oh, God. I didn't think I'd be stumped this early, like at the start of case 5. The cop.
Hold it!
Okay, hold on. So how did Gregson find out about it? That's the question. Just an apprentice. Sculling out of his findings. Just an apprentice when it suits you.
Hold it!
When Van Zeeks was at the club, he was. Detectives, people saw him. There's no disputing that. Discovered, inspected secret notebook with it to the club. Which led him to the club. So, wait. Am I supposed to be trying to point out how or where Gregson could be? I guess like I needed to ask myself that question first. Also, I'll reload back for the hell of it.
Objection!
Yeah, no, not that one. I must deny your objection.
Objection!
Or I wonder if I'm... No, okay. I really need to ask myself what it is I'm actually looking for. There must be a mistake in this testimony, so something that doesn't make sense, given what we currently know. Supposed to follow orders, so that's whatever. search of the boss's stuff, secret meetings. Okay, that's just like more information feeding. Smuggled goods deal is gonna, was gonna happen. Oh. No, nothing about... Presumably belong to Inspector Gregson. Huh. Fuck, what am I not, what piece of information is eluding me right now? Wait, oh my god, we're gonna be stuck here for a while. Oh my god. So a clue that Gina missed. Obviously some inconsistency, so then we don't know anything else about a smuggled goods deal, so we can kind of rule that out. Unless a gentleman's club. No. Forgive me, Baretsu. I'm very slow on the uptake here. No, I forgot, no, you can't investigate that. Because I keep thinking you can investigate this and turn this around, but it's just like the photograph. Obviously the gun doesn't show anything. No, that's just the same thing from case 4. God, I don't want to ask for help yet, but at the same time, I'm just like, man, this is the first fucking cross-examination. I know, like, with these kinds of things, everyone gets stuck somewhere. Everyone's a bit different with how they perceive and remember information, but goddamn, why did it have to be at the beginning for me? Not every time, but it's like, man. Scorch marks. You'll be here to have my back, thank you. We already investigated this and they didn't say anything specific. That handprint, we already dealt with it. So, what? No, that wouldn't make sense showing the photograph of the victim. It was just there to establish the little bruising and, like, whatnot. No, this is just his ID card, so then there wouldn't be anything else written on here of importance. Yeah, so nothing relevant there. Did I miss anything in the chest here? Like, aside from the passport and the little blade? No, not really. We know there's a blood stain here, but we don't know exactly how that's relevant as of now. We know that, you know, Gregson was at the scene, or wherever he really died at, got shot, the blood leaked and spilled, or like, no, the blood splattered on this part of the case. I'm not sure how to explain this part of the slash here, cutting the case and all, but it's like, So that's just the passport. Smuggled goods deal. Police business permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. I'm not. Also, Clint's autopsy isn't really relevant here. Yo, can I pull the Lucky Charm now? I'm out of options. Fuck.
Hold it!
Okay, one more time. The Groose, what sort of club is that? Ain't got the foggiest. Nah, there's just like banter, so. Going undercover. So that's where the black market dealings are going to take place. Even the lower ranking detectives are saying. So, I guess the third statement's also just saying to establish more information. Although I'm not sure how the name is going to be relevant here, so then... See, it looks like it was a big job, but coppers weren't onto it yet.
Hold it!
So, fourth and fifth statements have my attention. Or, I can focus more of my attention on 4 and 5. From 3 to 5. So, how had Inspector Gregson come to find out about it? That's the question. Just an apprentice. Why didn't he form Scotland Yard? Yeah, so I was asking myself, blah blah blah. Something went on in that club. Can't say that for certain. So then,
Hold it!
Lord Van Zees was at the club. He was. Detectives who visited yesterday made inquiries to have confirmed it. Several reports seen the accused being admitted to the room in question as a guest. There's no disputing that he was there. Inspector Gregson already discovered the inspector's secret notebook, which led him to the club. So then...
Objection!
No, and I already showed that last time, right? Is there anything that shows the... No, there's just the dismissal thing.
Objection!
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of pulling out whatever out my ass. Huh? Fuck me. What am I not considering? Oh, this is frustrating me to no end. Actually, can I get a hint at, like... What kind of direction do I need to like, do I need to go in with my thought process? So they said there might be. I need to look back on everything I've learned so far, no matter how insubstantial it might seem. So there's something that I'm not. So there's something that I'm missing from other pieces of evidence I might have overlooked, or so no, that's just the. Sorry. Oh, son of a bitch! Pepe laugh. Okay, look, I didn't think I'd find it that quickly. Oh boy, man. That was a real quick course correction there. Oh my. Thank you, Baretsu. God damn it. Okay. So then now that we know it's a steamship, smuggle goods at a gentleman's club called the Groose. Saw the Reaper at the place too. At a gentleman's club? Maybe not a gentleman's club per se.
Objection!
Yeah, okay. Now we can make progress. You know, it kind of makes me want to, or I wish I remembered like which other Ace Attorney games and which cases I got really stuck in, or stuck on. I'm like, oh my god, I wish I had like a better recollection of like how my previous Ace Attorney experiences were. Because like, I know for sure there are definitely a lot of like head scratchers where I just like could not for the life of me without looking up, like trying to figure out like what evidence I'm missing. Or not missing, but overlooked. Oh my god. I've read about these clubs. I read about these. I've read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Wait, why isn't my? Oh, whoops. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted. Cosmo, not now! Seriously, is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a club called the Groose? The police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definitive yet. And I'm sorry to say, that they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean, that the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on 31st October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. You're showing a very irreverent attitude toward our country's police force there, Counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? Slam. A steamship. You think it's a ship? I have the evidence to prove it. Here! Let me see that. This dark suit. Wrong side!
The other side, my lord. Be more specific next time. Well, you can look at both sides. This would appear to be a ticket for the passage on a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Grus.
Objection!
Objection. So there's a steamship called the Grus that happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say, there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Well, look at the tickets. Notice the date of arrival in port. Ship arrived at the port of Dover on 1st November. The day on which the sound like a gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, the day in question here, 31st October, when the victim was on his clandestine mission. The ship hadn't yet docked on British shores. That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging.
Objection!
The fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense's assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grus on the day in question. Then show your evidence for that assertion. Very well. Damn, god damn, that gavel, oh my god. Or I know it's his cane, but... In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. Evidence that substantiates your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Grus on 31st October. Take that! What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim. Dated 31st October. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country. Order. Order. This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized. The day before the SS Grus arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night. According to my father, who was on board, at the port of Dunkirk. Dunkirk, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there? I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport. What? You mean you knew about this? The prosecution strategy for this trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations, and the line the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something. Wait, the prosecution office as a whole? Oh shit! And now that you've expertly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe that to be that's something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asogi? A courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts. Without exception. Let me guess. This was your intention from the outset, wasn't it? The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper. The Reaper? Rabble, 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 rabble. Oh, god damn! Oh my god. Order, order. What on earth are you saying, counsel? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that. What? Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was, in fact, acting for the Reaper. So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was, obviously, an assassination? Merrick Van Zeeks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast iron alibi. Which tells us he must have had an accomplice. And you claim that was Inspector Gregson. What the hell do you think you're saying, eh? My boss would never have done nothing like that. And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense. No, it can't be. We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? And Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper. Even so, there's no way that the person giving him his orders was Lord Van Zeeks. No, the true Reaper is somebody else. Merrick Van Zeeks is not the Reaper. A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man. And even if that's true, or even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Groose on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all. Oh, you have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, Counsel? Absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku were on that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm sure we would have heard about it. What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on board the ship. But I think perhaps you've missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. What? Gregson did board the SS Groose that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure. Failure? It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped the very important detail here. Oh. What are you talking about? What detail? Inspector Gina Lestrade. What? The victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from earlier. That doesn't contain details of the secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper, the Bailey. You're lying! Even if all them bludgers who got taken out had it coming. The boss weren't the Reaper. Poor Gina. There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard the rumors. I ain't heard nothing, and I don't believe a word of it. Then testify again, as the representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss. I don't... I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything that you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook. Oh damn. Gina doesn't get any breaks here. Yeah, this notebook does have a load of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. Names of victims, dates, and places and stuff. And the last entry in there was 31st October. It said Gruus for the place on that date, and then the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal who got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago or summit. But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all.
Keep personal opinion out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here.
This must be so hard for her. You can't deny it now, surely, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What can't I deny? The notebook contained the name of the final mark, and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could only have known if he was working with the Reaper.
So, who was to be this final mark?
Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade. Read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the Gruus on 31st October. How do you read this then? Reading's still not a strong suit. That ain't the problem, alright, Otto. It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's hard to read. So it's someone from overseas. Let me have a bash at it. Sejiro. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Dude, you do not fuck with the judge. He will sling your ass overboard. Through the wall. Holy shit.
Yeah, Seishiro. You maybe? What? It can't be. Seishiro Jigoku? Well, that's Judge Jigoku.
Seishiro Jigoku. Certainly not an English name, you're right.
Objection!
But that can't be right. I know Judge Jigoku, and I saw him the day before yesterday, here in London. So I know for a fact that the man hasn't been assassinated.
As I said, the Reaper failed.
Oh.
Gregson must miss this chance to kill his mark and return to British shores.
But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake,
So we killed the inspector. Personally. The Reaper, of course, being the accused. Beric Van Zieks. It's an undeniably logical argument.
Kazuma, you planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Hold it!
Ooh. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice whilst I stand accused of murder.
Lord Van Zieks?
The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You will return to the dock. I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task for this court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. That girl is no detective.
What? Nah, that's right. I ain't. I'm an inspector.
Repeating rumors heard around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony. It's practically a script. No doubt the rest of the trial will go exactly as you've clearly planned. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I am the Reaper, who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago.
but you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself. By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony. What did you say?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is our chance.
My lord, the defense requests that the defendant be allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information relating to the testimony just given by the witness. I'm sorry, I'm just very intimidated right now. Very well. I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination. Then allow me to toast the court's impartiality. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately. Oh, his lips didn't shake there.
At once, my lord.
I love how they have a slightly different animation for his face slap.
Hold it!
In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper.
Not you and all. That ain't the only explanation, is it? He could have been investigating the Reaper in secret, and that notebook said what he found out.
Gina. If I may, when originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believe the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial. But you carried out your own investigations into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you? Yes, and those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper.
One arm? What do you want about?
You should study metaphors, young lady. The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them on alone. The Reaper is an organization. With you at its head. I had spies at the yard keeping me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I've been able to check the most recent entry in his book. I knew the location.
You knew it said Groose.
Believing it to be a reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went there on the day in question to investigate. Alone.
Ah, so that explains why several members of the club claim to have seen you there.
But of course, the inspector was not there.
Because at the time he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk.
Very well then, back to your testimony about the contents of this notebook.
Fine. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago.
Oh, no, it's alright. I'm overthinking this, aren't I? Making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France as shown by the passport.
Hold it!
Let's see, names of victims, dates, places, and stuff. What in particular?
Well, beside the victims' names, this other name kept cropping up. What other name was that? It's the one I told you yesterday. The same name written over and over again.
You mean...
Assassin.
Kill me.
Yeah, that's the one. She's a friend of yours or something, isn't she? Were you even listening yesterday? Assassin. The assassin.
What? Like, a killer, you mean?
Read the fucking name! It's literally her name! Gregson was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable and who to use to get at them. But the person actually executing his plans was someone else, you're saying? If that's true, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes.
Ah, then perhaps what is said on the passport document. Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Could that additional person have been clearly the assassin who was meant to take Seishiro Jigoku's life? Slap. Gina, can you confirm that? Against the final entry that listed Cruz and Seishiro Jigoku, what name was written?
Oh, well, that's the only entry that didn't have a name next to it, as it happens.
What?
It just had a question mark or something there, I think. In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case. But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not?
Oh, how infuriating.
A nameless assassin. Nameless.
Hold it!
Nameless assassin? Huh. No one that we currently know, at least as far as we know. And you're saying that the mark listed was Seishiro Jigoku?
That's what it said. Funny name if you ask me. Hey, what's wrong with... Hey, you think all Japanese names are funny? And I thought your name was odd. Otto?
So pleased to have lost my crown there. Mr. Jigoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court of Judicature. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago. Studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Stronghart. That bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say. So Lord Stronghart was Judge Jigoku's mentor. If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now.
10 years ago, after that fateful case.
Precisely. In the aftermath of the professor case, his repatriation was organized immediately. It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook.
I didn't think it was possible, but the mood in here just got even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep talking. Hold it! What do you mean, a criminal? Judge Jigoku's no criminal. Well, don't ask me, I don't know nothing about it. Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Jigoku did once appear in court here in Britain. It was related to the professor case, I'm sure.
Yes, of course. You're right. Seishiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took the stand to testify. Ooh boy. But he got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witness stand. He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire for which he was charged. It was a pitiful situation, yes. I'd forgotten all about it, but I prosecuted that trial too, as it happens.
You did?
It was considered to be an, It was considered to be an, adjunct? An adjunct to the professor proceedings, you see.
but he was acquitted after being told to make reparation for the damage he caused to the stand. And there you have it. Have what? Surely the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court, guilty or innocent alike. What? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Jikoku was targeted for assassination? The man was sent back to Japan immediately after that trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper is. What the fuck? Come on, that's absurd! To take someone's life for that? Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd, killing those who've been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension. But... Right, I just had enough about this. Gina? All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people. It's cobblers. Come on, Otto. Yes? Why'd you say nothing? Well, I need time to examine this shit. Why? Why did you yelling out objection or summon? Oh, what? You gotta find a flaw. You do usually. Someone's lying, ain't no question. You gotta work out who it is. Please, look for the boss. That outburst was an insult to the court and to your own testimony. I might have known that a common pickpocket from the back slums couldn't make a detective. When this trial is over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Mr. Straw. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Gina, you got to let the councils do their work. You can't just keep throwing in bias into the proceedings with, come on, he's innocent. Emotional pleas can't work here. Is that clear? I've had it with a lot of you. It's lies every bleeding place you look in the world, isn't it? Well, I've had enough. Gina. So have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind. To what, Mr. Naruhodo? There was one point in this cross-examination when something that was said just didn't sit right with me. One statement that seemed odd. Oh, do you mean... I'm not going to let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears.
Hold it!
I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve.
Roll the credits.
Huh? What do you mean? Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency. What? An inconsistency? Really, Otto? I don't quite know what it means yet, but... yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... Excuse me? Go away. Hey,
God damn it. I want to look back at the... I wanted to look back at the statements again. Although there's only 2 people that said stuff. Or... amongst everything we've heard. Where... by which the man operates. Sent back to Japan immediately after the trial. Suggesting... okay, huh. So, I mean, the only ones that have said things so far is Gina with the testimony. Wait, did Vanzik say some stuff earlier? I forget. It's also Stronghart, because, you know, if we're to include everyone who's talked so far. Obviously, no. So then these 3. Also Cosmo's on the list. But they're just, like, talking about, like, everyone who made a note of something during this cross-examination. Inconsistency. Man, okay, you know what, fuck it. I'll just put Kazuma because, like, I wanted to read the other statements, but then, like, I didn't expect this to just come up all of a sudden.
Take that!
My guess is right. My guess is right. Roll the D4, baby. Something that didn't sit right with Ryunosuke. Something that Cosmos said didn't seem right. Killing those who have been found innocent. Sane persons. I wonder if that's the particular line that Ryunosuke had issue with. By you, Kazuma Asugi. Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering counsel? Prosecutor Asugi has given no testimony. What are you suggesting I said that was inconsistent? You let something slip, and you shouldn't have. When I present the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you realize what you've done. Very well then, counsel. Go ahead. What evidence reveals this alleged inconsistency in something Prosecutor Asugi has said? Wait, fuck. Give me a second here. Look, Capcom, please. Give me a longer text history here. I want to go further back. Alleged inconsistency. Fuck. Wait. Oh. Okay, so at least at a glance, the first page doesn't make any sense to me. So, something that Kazuma said had an inconsistency, and this piece of evidence will reveal said inconsistency in what he said. Okay, hold on. So, before he mentioned killing innocent people, one inconsistency. Oh. Okay, so it shouldn't be any of these. So it has to be somewhere on this last page. An inconsistency and fuck yeah, I don't know, dude.
Take that!
My initial impressions were correct. This is nonsense. You accuse your best friend and back it up with that. The Ryunosuke Naruhodo was dead. Struck down by my best friend. Was when Kazuma said... Okay, because I really wish I had that refresher. Because at the time he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. Wait, oh. You know, I really wish I could have looked back far enough to see that he mentioned the trunk, as like... the only one who knew about that trunk is us and Gina, and we're the only ones who investigated far enough to see the blood, and most notably... I mean, at first I thought it could have been, like... some, knife blade or something like that, but maybe it's a tip of a sword of some sort. 'Cause... I mean, unless it was a really good knife, could have been a strong enough, like, blade to, like, or could have been a strong enough sword whose blade could have been strong enough to just stick right in there. Into the metal rim or edge or whatever of the box. So, thank you, Susato, for the reminder. I could have used that earlier. I was right in narrowing it down to the second page here.
Take that!
This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson. A metal construction, is it? It's certainly very heavy. What's this? A blood stain, and a relatively fresh one too.
What? You mean that ain't grease from all the boss's fish and chips?
How would fish and chips... I mean, we know that they toyed around with the grease idea. How would the grease from fish and chips go on the bottom quarter of a fucking trunk? How do you think he eats his fucking fish and chips? You think he, like, laid it down on a table right next to the bottom side of a trunk on the table or some shit? Or, like, he dropped it so hard that the fish and chips smeared on the side of the trunk or something to leave such a stain? I don't fucking know, dude. That must have been some greasy ass fish and chips. Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests that the victim was traveling with that luggage when he was killed. That can't be.
There was no mention of any trunk in Scotland Yard's report. Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with the trunk, hoping to sell it. When I found it, me, with me nose for trouble. Huh. Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. Oh shit! And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, Kazuma. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk? We know the man went on a trip to France. Where else could he have put his passport?
Objection!
But you knew it was a metal trunk. Answer me honestly, Kazuma. On 31st October, where exactly were you? At the port of Dunkirk, on board the SS Groose. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryunosuke? Kazuma, what did you... I hadn't considered the possibility before, but if Kazuma was there on the ship, then it could only have been for one purpose. Oh no, Mr. Naruhodo. Surely you don't think... Come on, Ryunosuke. You know the rules. The only thing that really talks in the courtroom is hard evidence. You know, we could just point to the blade and have you draw your katana. Or your other sword. You have two swords if one of them is chipped. I mean, I think that tells everything. Wait, but then why was a slash directed at Gregson's chest then? If... Or maybe during the tussle... Or... Wait... Okay, that's weird. Okay. Wait, the scenario playing in my head doesn't really make any sense. As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proved nothing. Kazuma, are you challenging me to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt? That you were there that day, in the same place as the inspector. He was there, with Gregson. There's a clue you've overlooked, a secret that trunk can tell us. Okay, how can you fucking miss the blade and not be sweating bullets, Kazuma? How can you not be sweating bullets at the fact that there's a fucking fragment of a blade right there? Like, Ryunosuke can clearly just ask for you to draw your weapon, and we can take a look at it. I can't be sure at this point. I'll need to verify it, but I have a nasty feeling that it's going to be right. The accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless, we must test it. The defense will identify for the court where in this trunk the alleged clue is to be found. Where is the evidence that ties a prosecutor Asugi to Inspector Gregson? Let's have a look inside.
Got it!
Got it! There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here, like the tip of a blade. A blade? Kazuma, slung around your waist as ever today, is the esteemed blade Karuma. Of course it is. Won't you draw it, here in this courtroom, for all to see? Exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer. Bailiff, watch Prosecutor Asugi like a hawk. That won't be necessary. Oh no! The tip is broken. If the fragment of metal from the trunk fits together with the end of the saw, the question of who was there with Inspector Gregson will be answered. Agreed. Kazuma Asugi. Expertly done, Ryunosuke. That's a point to you, and well deserved. Do you mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Asugi? Yes. On 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. So the additional person authorized to travel was me. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. Why are you admitting to all this so readily? I mean, we kind of exposed it already, but it's like, he intentionally set this up himself. I'm like, what? What's going on here? What? You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this book? Or notebook. You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jigoku. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one. Explain. I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk. I never had any intention of carrying out the plan. Some double agent shit? You were never going to do it. We can believe Kazuma-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Jigoku arrived safely in London the following day. On the 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. That explains, they said that Kazuma was missing for a couple days or so during that time gap. We traveled to Dover, from where we crossed the channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Groose and made for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan. We went to Judge Jigoku's cabin. Exactly. He wasn't there though. We decided to wait, but you've already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. So I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. A boarding house? In Dunkirk? My signature will be there in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify. Then, what became of Jigoku? Gregson was no assassin, so the mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met with the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger and end his wretched agent's life. God damn! You're really, going all in on... You're really going all in on trying to, find him guilty. Holy shit. Even trying to admitting to working with Gregson as the hired assassin, basically. Holy shit. You really want to see Van Ziek's behind bars. God damn.
Objection!
What do you...
But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk?
I don't need to answer that. What? The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade isn't relevant to the case. So accordingly, I choose to exercise my right to silence on that matter. God damn! What the fuck, Kazuma? I mean, he's playing it smart, but what the fuck?
Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence.
As you wish, my lord.
Great Sword Karuma. We must take immediate action now and investigate the sword.
Karuma, the great blade. It's such a thing of beauty. I want to gaze on it for hours. The tip of the great sword. Broken. Such a shame. It's been so meticulously cared for over the years. I can almost hear Karuma's sobs. Cosmo must have really taken a swing for that to happen. So nothing.
Nothing. Huh. So wait, does anything change by investigating the thing now? I mean, we already sort of confirmed this, but like, I just want to say, hold on. Yeah, there's no new
The tip of Karuma. So this is how it was broken. Cosmo's swordsmanship is second to none. I can't believe he misjudged it, he'd misjudge it like that. Clearly he wasn't in his right mind. He didn't have full control of the power in his stroke. Too distracted by malicious thoughts, perhaps. Well, that wouldn't be surprising. After all, he was on an assassination mission.
to verify whether Seishiro Jigoku remains unharmed.
What? Remains unharmed? I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. How did you... When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise. But you don't mean to say that you think Judge Jigoku may have been killed? The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal, and he has the power and influence to give orders from inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zieks?
If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you.
But the... oh my god, you really want...
Order! Order in court! Order! We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes.
Now?
Guests of the symposium have been told to maintain regular contact with the organizer's office. The man can be located within half an hour. We will have to assume the worst.
Oh no, not Judge Jigoku. No one will want to kill a harmless Japanese man who only just arrived in the country. Except that is... for the Reaper, waiting to finish off a mark that slipped through the net 10 years ago.
God damn. I would have to agree. Mr. Naruhodo, for the defense's sake.
But my lord!
I sincerely hope we are successful. If we're unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, You will face grave difficulties. Court is adjourned for 30 minutes.
Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare. I can hardly believe it either, but on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories. I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful has happened to Judge Jigoku, then I feel as though things will only spiral further and further out of control. I felt it from the moment I stepped into the courthouse this morning. That strange sensation that we are careering towards as towards a foregone conclusion. Well, in the worst case, we might only have 30 minutes left. Unfortunately though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait now. We're out of options. Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last ear. Of course! The little Mr. Sholmes doll that Iris gave us. If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can. Perhaps now is the time. What should I do? Pull Hurley's ears or not? Leave it. Pull. Here goes then. I'm going to do it. Good luck, Mr. Naruhodo. No looking back. Heave! Ow! That scream, it sounded like Mr. Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes is just looking at us while we pull the thing.
Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Here, my dear fellow, here! It's the felt doll talking! Pull the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can. Alright then, I'll put all my strength into it. Heave! Oh my god, it's an earpiece. Wait, so then every time he tugs on it, it sends a signal for that piece to tug on his ear? Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off. Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Myself, my trusty partner. Are presently in the first-class cabin area of the SS Groose. The SS Groose. She left Dover last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. We are currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour. You've taken a ship to France. Please, even with my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump the Straits of Dover. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cab to the station and by train to the port, in order to board this vessel in time. So, you mean you've already worked it out? That the steamship was where everything really took place?
Oh my god, Sholmes. Oh my god. Okay, hold on.
Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name? Sherlock Sholmes, world-famous great detective. Recited to perfection. Well done. You're a genius, Mr. Sholmes. That's the only word for it. Ow, 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 ow. Mr. Sato, gently with this genius's ear, please. Oh my, I'm ever so sorry. If I may, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, there you are, Mikotoba. You may remember that it was, in fact, I who made the connection to the SS Goose. At Scotland Yard yesterday, when we examined that notebook and I recalled my steamship ticket. But of course it was, my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. I merely had our court-bound companions utter my name. Yes, you did, didn't you? We just entered a recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now. And if we're unable to present any new leads then, I'm afraid to say... Do not fret, please. It is for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made this journey. I have no doubt we shall have welcome news for you within the half hour. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That will be wonderful. Until later then. Yes, you'll be hearing from us if you're not in touch first. Ow, 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 ow. I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging my ear in that mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea behind making a receiver that operated in that way in the first place, Sholmes? Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine. Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of the hour, Miss Sholmes, we have but half that now, before the Goose puts to sea again. If we don't conclude our investigations rapidly, we shall find ourselves in Naples before long. There are times, Mikotoba, when you make a surprising amount of sense. So, let us begin. Oh, are we investigating with... Yo! First class cabin number 2. Yes, this is the one. But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing. That crewman standing in front of the door is an angry-looking fellow. Why are you loitering here? Who are you? My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? The question really ought to be, who are you? What is he have Sholmes written on his arm? Do you not recognize world-traveling great sailor, Chikin Stroganov, when you see? Great detective? Huh, I don't think so. Do you see that, Mikotoba? It would appear that this man is a devoted follower of mine. Goodness me, is that a tattoo that says Sholmes? I must say, while such adoration is flattering really, or naturally, it does leave me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave, now! How distressing. My loyal devotee knows me only by name, and not by appearance. And yet I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Like yourself, he's a shipman. Currently traveling the world aboard a Russian steamship, in fact. Dude, how could you know this? Elementary, my dear Mikotoba. I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard the ship, you see. We were looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name of Jigoku. There is no one on this, there is no one on board with this, no one with this name on board. But we know he purchased a ticket for passage. Ah, you mean Eastern man, he left ship 2 hours ago. Here at Dunkirk. He said something about emergency, I think. What? Are you sure? So Seishi should realize we're after him, has he? His cabin is the one behind you. We should like to investigate, please. No, I have orders not to even let Mouse inside. Mikotoba, be a good man and draw the sailor's attention away, would you? Make up some excuse so that he leaves the area.
doesn't great detectives see that even sailors have ears both left and right? Curses! The plan is ruined! Sholmes. The fuck? Sholmes? Question mark? And you only have yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Sholmes. Forget it. Cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside. Migatoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you? Opening any lock. Within a mere 5 seconds. So if you'd be so kind as to afford me the requisite time, old friend, in your typically accommodating manner. How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request, old friend? So I need to distract that burly sailor for 5 seconds, do I? Good man, so, the game is afoot! Oh shit! Ah, the switch for the electrical lights. Perhaps if I were to turn out the lights, the crewmen wouldn't be able to see what we were doing. Sure. What is happening? Where is lights? Now, Mr. Sholmes, now! You know, I think I see a problem with this. Sholmes can't see the door. You can't see the door. You looking sure? Oh man, I totally didn't know where that was going to go. Oh, he did it. No, he just clicked the lights back on. Nobody there. That was a close shave. Why to knock you have stumbling so violently, in an empty corridor? Do be quiet, Sholmes. I shall have to think of another approach. That's the speaking to for members of the crew to communicate with one another around the ship. I could just persuade our stocky sailor friend that he needed to use it. Sholmes could unlock the door whilst he was distracted. The question is, how? That's the way back to the deck. We certainly can't give up on this now. This must be a mousetrap, I think. Perhaps I could distract the crewman's attention with this somehow. That sounds like Big Mouse in Trap. Choo-choo. I will bring bucket of water later and put out misery. I don't like the sound of that. In any case, my dear fellow, that was quite unconvincing. Only Japanese mice make a chew sound. Oh really, Mr. Sholmes, pray tell, what do Russian mice make? Pee-pee, naturally. Though, also quite unconvincing, I readily admit. So go ahead, Migatoba. Do a pee-pee this time. No, thank you. I'm sure I can come up with an alternative solution. That's another first-class cabin, and yet its door is completely unguarded. Empty as well. I had a quick look inside earlier. Though I confess I didn't investigate the wardrobe. There may very well be a young Japanese fellow inside, perspiring merrily. If you're referring to Naruhodo, you know very well that he's currently perspiring merrily in court. Does it not strike you though, Migatoba? Why the man stands guard only in front of this cabin, when both are apparently vacant? This would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell will break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it.
Sure. Here goes then. Ought to be in advance. You! What are you doing? If we were at sea, that would be very bad problem. What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganoff, report at once. Sorry, sir. Nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. No, not by me. By world famous. No, as I told you. Now, Mr. Sholmes, now! Done! Not even 5 seconds, eh? Well, don't stand there gulping at my brilliance, Mikotoba. In we go! Oh, yes. And then we would just lock it back. Oh. Oh, they even plugged up the tube so like anyone potentially listening in wouldn't be able to hear it since it absorbed the sound. But good gracious. It would appear that the occupants of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Those clothes on the floor there, they're satiatas without a question. Well, it seems we are just a little too late. Yes, by about 2 hours. Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may be, well, 2 hours worth of clues to find in here. But that burly crewman, but that burly crewman may return at any moment, Sholmes. Indeed he may. Which makes this all the more thrilling. That's a substantial heap of clothes on the floor. An overcoat, shirts, dressing gown. Okay, hold on. Momohiki work trousers, a Tanzan robe, Haramaki waistband, clearly the clothing of a Japanese man. And clearly Japanese men are unaccustomed to the culture of the wardrobe. It looks to me as if they've been thrown in a heap like that in something of a hurry. Indeed, you could help yourself to a Japanese man's shirt, perhaps. I'm sure you made mention of packing too few. And very much... I'd very likely drown in one of Seishiro's shirts. No, I'll just buy any extras I need, I think. That's a very... Excuse me. That's a very sizable trunk indeed. God, my freaking throat, dude. Seishiro is partial to all things large. And a rather clumsy fellow if he failed to notice that he left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think, but still a hindrance to a speedy escape. Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside. Surely 5 seconds from now the situation will be quite different though. Sadly not, it has a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not in a morose enough mood to work through all the combinations at present. Any reading materials to keep passengers occupied in long sea voyages. I found the mixture of classic literature and easy reading to be most satisfactory, I must say. Whoever stocked this bookcase was a hopeless heretic. There's no copy of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, my dear fellows. I'm afraid it's just me, but no, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible. I shall leave a copy behind, I just happen to have one with me. You're a true missionary of the Church of Great Detectives, aren't you? The wall is a slightly different color, just here, do you see? Indeed. What you have observed arises when a frame that's been hanging for some time is removed. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure. He may very well be the elusive thief who has been plaguing France's galleries of late. I think perhaps we should focus our intentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? That outline on the wall. I feel as though I might have spotted something like that, something of a similar shape and size somewhere else.
No shit.
Those are the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Additionally, there are severe punishments for stowing away in wardrobes or travel cases. I feel the rules have increased since I last read them. Probably just my imagination. What about the fact they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't that strike you? You may be right. Probably just your imagination though, a trifle. And you know what they always say, Mikotoba, there is nothing important about trifles. It's probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off.
What? We're really not going to... Okay.
This is the waste paper basket, look, and there's still rubbish inside. Indeed, then let us pry. I've discovered recently that I have a penchant for exploring the contents of others' waste paper baskets. I sincerely hope only for your work. Ah! Here we have a notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago. 3 days ago? The night before we arrived in London then. When I was still aboard myself.
Following departure from the port of Dunkirk, all crew members... Hey, I'm not done reading!
Yes, there was an evacuation drill, I remember now. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. It was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once.
Oh, I can't look... Oh, we can't look at the court record because the court record is obviously with the other guys.
Quite the expensive glass, I must say. See here how it's... Is something wrong, Sholmes? You suddenly trail off. Ice, Mikotoba, ice! What, opulence, the first class, What opulence the first-class passengers enjoyed. Chilled drinks. Pardon. Could it be that this steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, we think? Oh! Oh! You don't say! Well, it is a luxury liner after all. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. On a voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Suddenly, Mikotoba. The sight of you is making my mouth water.
Ooh. It's getting a little hot in the room right now. I think we need to crack open a window.
I haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know.
No. You are still here.
Ah, able seaman Stroganoff. Hello again. I was beginning to think you'd never materialize.
You're waiting for me.
Of course. I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner.
I was in trouble with Captain because of the trick you played before.
Poor innocent, chicken.
Oh. Oh, now it hits me. Now it hits me. Chicken. I was so excited about the fact that, like, we're seeing Mikotoba's and Sholmes's, like little investigation that I didn't process the I didn't process the joke until now. And his brother beef, chicken and beef. Oh man, what? Ship is leaving port soon. Get off now.
Of course. We shall disembark presently, my dear fellow, but first, there is something that must be done.
What are you talking about?
Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and the barring of the truth.
Kakoi!
I'm afraid I see through your lies.
Oh! We're gonna do it! We're gonna do the thing with Mikatoma! Oh shit! Please!
For one thing, Mr. Jigoku has not yet left this vessel at all.
Oh!
And for another, my dear Seaman Stroganoff, you know exactly where the man is even as we speak, don't you?
How can you?
Good gracious, Sholmes, you mean you've worked it out? All of it? It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. So, would you join me for a dance of my inimitable logic and reasoning?
Oh shit!
Nothing will please me more.
What is this?
We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now.
Oh shit!
Time is of the essence. Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim.
Dude, we don't even get the little cover. No, we're going straight in. Oh shit!
You told us that Jigoku left the ship some 2 hours ago.
Ah, that is what I said.
Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it.
What?
Ah, yes, of course. I see you noted it too, Migatoba. Then please do take the lead. What's in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago. Let's see what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills, Migatoba. It's been 10 years since we last did this, Sholmes, not 3. Why, of course it has, quite. Now, all the clues are here in this cabin for your eyes to see. But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe. Observe and the answers become clear. So, impress me. I think I can imagine that.
Shows the impossibility having disembarked 2 hours ago.
Take that!
Take that! Oh shit! Oh, he's tap dancing! Oh shit! He tap dances! Oh my god! Holy shit!
Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass. How curious that the ice shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago.
Ah!
It would appear that the man was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. With this well-chilled glass in hand. Get your mind off the refreshment shelves. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? But why would Seishio run from us? Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins of the SS Groose are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku were accommodated on your voyage from Japan. Oh, that's right, they are. Oh shit. I was in the cabin next door, and stationed was, yes, 50 days in this very cabin during our voyage. As I suspected, for you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about this. Ah, this is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Sholmes, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice. Something out of place in here. That's the key to this, Mikotoba. The remnants of the dark deed that took place in here, being masked by something quite incongruous. I must say, I didn't foresee you ever doing this dance of deduction, I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikotoba. No, quite. But life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we well know. Now then, let's see if I can uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow. Remnants of the dark deed.
Take that!
Okay, I guess that was just the Mikotoba, no games now with my words, were they not? Come, Sholmes, where's the fun in life without a little fooling around, Right you are. That was a close shave. I'd better rethink that before I'm the fool here. Okay, cause like I was looking at the rules of passage and the remnant, because I thought like both of them would apply and then one would lead into, you know. Anyways. Dear God, Mikotoba, open your eyes! It was only a metaphorical listening that I was suggesting. Ah.
Take that!
It's the rules of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall, as if they were put there in a hurry. Yes, as I'm sure you've already concluded. That frame was originally over there. The size and shape are a perfect match. Ah, you are right. When did frame move? Hardly the most observant of crewmen, are you, Mr. Stroganoff? I think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Ugh. Oh dear, that really seemed to touch a nerve. So, Mikotoba, why don't you lift that frame off the wall? That looks like a bullet hole. What? Who has been shooting walls? I see. The projectile has been removed. Oh, clearly, the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff. I had the distinct impression that you were attempting to shield said occupants. I don't know what you are talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern Stranger? Ah, so we are talking about the same man, I see. Good. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Also, I kind of find it funny with the height difference. Half a head bigger. Because there is some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep this pretense, as clearly shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, Sholmes. Ah, my dear Migatoba, simply keep first principles in mind. Study your subject from every angle. And I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I put a wager on it. Someone to glare at the fellow from all sides. Well, I can certainly do that. Chunky arms.
Take that!
Chunky arms. It's almost too obvious for words. Quite the universal language of the world. Money. Ah, you need some deeper pockets, my dude. And I'd wager that the Eastern fellow in question is Seishido Jigoku, yes? Ah. So, I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. But... I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Mr. Jigoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. As always, Migatoba, in matters of abduction, the furtive glance is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something there, Sholmes. You found a chink in this burly fellow's armor. We need only follow the man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. The slightest flicker of the pupils, a minutely delayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceptible. You could hardly call this perceptible, Sholmes. This man turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. Please don't let your tapping toes decide, my dear fellow.
Take that!
So, you really think he's hiding in there as we speak? Curled up into a ball this very moment. But as I said earlier, we have no time for games today. No, I quite understand. I'll make this as quick as I can. Seaman Stroganoff will be suffering neck fatigue before long, I should think.
Take that!
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, when I heard curled up into a ball, I was like, I just wanted to point to the wardrobe.
Take that!
Oh shit. I thought that like, okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh shit, wait, I can't save. I can't scum this. I actually didn't realize that. I can't scum this. Oh shit, I realized that earlier. I would have actually been careful. Okay, look.
Take that!
Now this will make it more exciting if we have any more to point out since we only have one life left. The added tension.
You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? Ah. The truth is, Seishido Jigoku was unable to escape from the ship in time. And it is at this very moment. doing his very best to stifle his breath inside this trunk.
Yeah, hiding inside the glass of ice. Cause like I thought that like that would like go to the whole like refrigeration thing. Although that would imply that he's dead and they want to hide a dead body or something like that. But then I thought they were gonna talk about the freezer bit, okay? Because we can't exactly point to a refrigeration unit that's not even on screen, so that's like, you know.
If he still has a breath to take, I fear he may be running out. He may be running dangerously low on air. I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it'll be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But how can we? Are you forgetting about the combination lock? We don't even know the 7-digit code. The combination lock can't be opened from inside the trunk. Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure. Of course. In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. As I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff.
Oh. So that's 5. Is that supposed to be a 6? Or wait. 5. It's hard to see with the text box in the way. 6 backwards, unless. Yeah, it's like 6 backwards. So 5, 6, 3. 1, 0, 4, 5.
Don't move a muscle, my good man.
Huh?
Now, Mikotoba, would you do the honors and open the trunk?
Okay, hold on. I need my little clipboard. Just in case they don't show me his arm again for some reason. Wait, in the original, it was a 6-digit code? Oh.
How on earth do you expect me? It's a 7-digit number, remember? Quickly now, we have little time.
So then, whoops. Okay, let me write this. Get this down. So then. Oh wait, is there no? Oh wait a second. Oh wait, is that? Wait. Wait. Wait, so there's no 6th. Wait. Well, I'm being stupid right now. Oh wait, no, that's supposed to be a 2. That's supposed to be a... Wait, is that supposed to be a 2? That has to be.
Take that!
Yeah, there we go. I was like, wait, I was like, why does that 6 look backwards? No, it's a different way of writing 2, sloppily. Or just a different way in general.
I did it! It's open! You had to meddle, didn't you? Holy shit. Well, Eugen, you found me now. Seishiro. I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you in here, you know. But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it. No, quite. I just wish it were some other way. Well, are you ever going to introduce me? Ah, your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes. I've read stories of many of your exploits. Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil is in the details, Mikotoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion. Who made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour? Huh? I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Seishiro, are you going to explain all this? You all know it by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here in this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey. Yes, I've since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. And I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed until goodness knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes. Of course I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you. It's somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamships are in a very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. The cabin did just happen to be available, so I purchased a ticket and here I am. I've just seen for myself the obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin. So you'd already purchased your return ticket before we ever even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else from taking this cabin and seeing the evidence, is that it? Eugen, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes, this ship will set off on its onward voyage and not make port again until Italy. I'm afraid we must insist that you disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this, Seishiro. Take it. Ooh? What is it? It's a subpoena from the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this from the British courts would be. You came prepared then, Eugen. Come on, let's go. One moment. What is it, Sholmes? Inside Mr. Jigoku's trunk. I found this rather fascinating trinket. What is that? Seishido. I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. But what? I have no idea. By the look on his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know, Peppy laughed. Well, let us pocket it as a small souvenir of our brief sojourn in France. Well, young Naruhodo, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on the shoulders of you and your assistant. Oh shit, dude. The judge. The judge. Kazuma Asagi, I know you, and I know you wouldn't lie. But still, there's no doubt that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. Okay, hold on real quick. Excuse me. Ow, ow. During the past 30 minutes while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. But sadly, Mr. Jigoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained. We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed. There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for an immediate verdict.
Objection!
No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Ryunosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword. And you should know never to presume when the battle is won. The court has already been presented with all the evidence and heard all relevant testimony. There can only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty. All the relevant testimony, far from it. There is still a crucial witness, from whom the court is yet to hear a single word of testimony. In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, counsel. Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible. The witness is already on his way and is scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Who on earth is this crucial witness? Seishido Jigoku. The very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper. Judge Jigoku, you found him. But the investigations of every policing resource in the capital suggest that Jigoku is already dead. How in the name of God did you find the man? He was located in France during the recess, at the port of Dunkirk. Thanks to one of Mr. Herlock Sholmes' famous deductions. Herlock Sholmes. Inspector Gregson almost certainly met with Mr. Jigoku on the night of his death, because along with the prosecutor Asugi, Gregson was on a mission to assassinate the man. Excuse me. Which means that Seishido Jigoku is a sole witness. Who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Goose on the 31st October? Well, it would appear that it's too soon to move to adjudication at this point. The prosecution concurs. The court must hear Mr. Jigoku's testimony. No judgment shall be passed until all testimony has been considered. I still don't get why Cosmo's like acting so hastily. It's like, well, all the evidence and stuff's been heard. It's like, well, Jigoku's on his way. Well, actually, we concur now. Like,
Like, man. I don't know, man. In that case, I hereby call the end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side.
No, my lord. No objections, my lord. We live to fight another day by the skin of our teeth.
I wonder if we have an extra investigation to do here, if any. Or we go straight to the trial. Let's see. Do we go straight to the trial or not? Ah, actual investigation. Okay, hold on. Need to adjust my seat again. Oh shit. Okay, you know what? I really need to move this box. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I really need to clean up like my immediate area. Like, so much. You know what? I should disassemble this part of the desk here. But I have no real use to this thing. But how am I gonna take it out? I'll have to figure that out later. Although, man, like, my room is a bit of a mess. I mean, not too much, but like, if I disassemble this, where the hell am I gonna put this? Because I don't think I should, like, immediately just throw it away. I don't freaking know, dude. Anyways, back to the case.
The unexpected halt of proceedings sent a clamor around the courtroom, but outside the Bailey, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night. Then, at a little past 8 o'clock that evening, Mr. Sholmes and his partner returned to Baker Street.
Ooh, quite a feast we have here. Yo, can I have some of that? That looks delicious.
We have returned, my dear fellows. Welcome back to Britain, and thank you for your timely help. Think nothing of it. I believe you've had an even more wearing day than Mikotoa and I knew. You could say that. We were on the brink of defeat in court earlier. So, this prosecutor Asugi had you on the ropes, did he? And he's your best friend, you say? Well, he's not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Kazuma's changed. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I mean, it's incredible to think that he'd even entertain the idea as acting as the Reaper's assassin. Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse. When all this started, almost a year ago now, Mr. Sholmes still hasn't told us the truth about what really happened back then. Or the motivation for what he himself described as a great detective's lie. Now then, I must say, it's really quite a journey, all the way to France. But it is another country, Mr. Sholmes, so what news of Jigoku? We took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there have a lot of questions for the man. Oh, Professor Mikotoba, that must be quite a shock for him. Ah yes, I picked this up at the telegraph office on our way home. What is it? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday. You put upon me, Miss Sholmes. I had to fill out your telegram to Japan and foot the bill as well.
Oh, you had a reply already.
What was so urgent though, Mr. Sholmes? Such matters can wait till later. I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present.
Well, that's good news because supper is ready, everyone.
Ah, and what a feast it is! If I were none the wiser, I think the trial were won already. Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding. What's kippers? Also, kidney pie. Huh.
Tomorrow could be a very long day, so eat up.
In that case, I think I shall seat myself just here. This place appears to be the only one, set with a helping of, This place appears to be the only one set with a helping of pheasant as well. So wait, kippers are herrings, fish? Ah, okay.
Oh, sorry, Hurley, not there.
Why ever not? Are we set in, are we set in place, or are we in set places this evening?
Yes, and that place is for Susie's daddy.
For me?
That's right. I made it especially for you, Professor Mickey.
I see. Well, that's terribly kind of you.
It's a shame, really.
What do you mean?
Well, for a brief moment, I believed it. That Susie, and I were half-sisters, I mean. Oh!
Ooh.
Iris, do you mean... Yes, I know now. I overheard yesterday. I secretly listened to the conversation you had. After I tricked you all into thinking I'd left.
What? Oh boy. The misunderstanding arose because of the autopsy report from 10 years ago. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikotoba are Iris's father. Yes, about that, Iris. You know
I know. You can't tell me at the moment. Oh, Iris. The pheasant is by way of an apology. I'm sorry for eavesdropping.
Oh, no. That's quite alright. Then why don't I get any apologetic pheasant? Cause fuck you, Shelves. So just who is Iris's father? I suppose that's not something we'll be finding out today. So then, let us dine, while the largely pheasantless plates are still piping hot. A fine idea, Sholmes. It all looks absolutely delicious.
Eat as much as you'd like. There are always seconds.
This could be our last chance to ask questions before tomorrow's trial. About that telegram from Japan. And about Kazuma. I can't let this opportunity slip away.
You sure are comfy there, Sholmes.
Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding. What's Yorkshire pudding exactly? I actually don't know. Or I think I heard the name before, but I actually don't know what Yorkshire pudding is. It all looks mouth-wateringly good. Indeed, it does. And if it were accompanied by even a morsel of pheasant, it would be perfection.
So it's a type of baked pudding? Oh.
Okay, hold on. I need to mute the mic again. My freaking throat, dude. Oh god, my neck. Yeah, no, sorry. My posture is really bad right now. I really need to fix my posture. Hold on. You're still on that.
Oh, it really does look like a feast for celebrating a victory in court.
Or indeed for drowning one's sorrows after a defeat. I hope you weren't referring to the trial tomorrow, Mr. Sholmes. He's clearly still in mourning over the pheasant at the moment. Sorry, I had to move the mic. Oh, let's just talk to him. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Mikotoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, I felt the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and look on with hungry eyes. Ah.
Sorry, Hurley, but I cooked that pheasant especially for Susie's daddy.
Even though I've played the role of father to you for far longer. No Fezzy for the genius detective. Mr. Sholmes, could I discuss some things with you?
Certainly, my dear fellow. I find myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation.
No doubt, you're hungry to learn more of my deep love of game. I can probably contain my curiosity on that one. You needn't look at me in that fashion. In what fashion? It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss. Ooh. So, what was in the telegram you received back from Japan then? Ah, this! I think my lucky stars, it arrived in time. Record found as indicated. Duplicate photos. Kei Asugi.
Oh wait. Oosh. Oh. Wait. Oh.
Kei Asugi. A. Shin. T. Gregson. J. Wilson. What? Those 4 names. We've come across that exact list before. They came up in that unforgettable case last spring. What appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be masking monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states. In exposing the means by which those secrets were being leaked, we deciphered a fragment of a message. Kei Asugi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. We didn't find the names out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that the information had been sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan. So, why are the names coming up again now? Yes, where did the sender of your telegram, discover them, Mr. Sholmes? I have here the message I wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. Enter Judge Jigoku's office undetected and investigate telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. Oh shit! List of 4 names. Need by tomorrow. Naruhodo. Oh. I sent it to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of this nature. You asked Inspector Hosonaga to undertake such an... I love that they still have his stupid swimsuit, like swimsuit disguise or cover or however you want to call it. They didn't even bother putting him back in regular clothes for this little shot here. Oh my god. And in my name. I wonder what guise he opted for this time. My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand. Anyway, the list of names was found in Seishiro's office, as Sholmes predicted. So you mean that mysterious collection of names that was sent from Britain to Japan was... It was sent to Judge Jigoku. He was the intended recipient. I don't believe it. Well, that doesn't answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies. I did formulate a hypothesis about that. But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. Mr. Sholmes looks deadly serious for once. That tragedy we had to go through on the SS Beria. It was all for nothing. Kazuma wasn't dead at all. We were completely taken in by the lie you told us. Your great detective's lie. I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. What? I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan. His remains, you mean? Precisely, Mr. Sato. And then, I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead. Oh my, you mean... The arrangement between our two countries was already in place. One university student lawyer and one judicial assistant to be accompanied on a study tour. In other words, while waiting for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Asugi, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on our shores for several years at least. Wait, do you mean to say that it was all in the aid of stopping Cosmo from coming to Britain? That's why you... Think back, Mr. Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue on the voyage to England? The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice and in both Great Britain and Japan. Asanaga, you son of a bitch. In light of Mr. Asugi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. The voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find ourselves another suitable lawyer. So, you manipulated me? I've often remarked on the extraordinary lengths to which friendship would drive a man. I was quite sure that you would rise to the challenge for your late friend. I don't believe it. But it was all contrived. I mean, what happened which treated by the authorities as murder? And a woman was mistakenly arrested as a perpetrator. What do you suppose... Whoops. What do you suppose became of her? Naturally, I didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussions. I subsequently explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought. I seem to remember Mr. Sato and I had some rather strong words for her. Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. I wonder if she made it to America then. I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Sholmes? Why are you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain? The truth is, 12 months ago, there is already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy you see. Oh! An omen that at this very moment in time is close at hand. Oh. An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago is close at hand. We need to find out exactly what Mr. Sholmes knows. An omen of all these tragic events that existed a year ago. Also, I didn't see this. Flying procedure. All crew members assemble on main deck 10 p.m. 20 minutes. A year ago.
No, they said a year ago, not 10. So... Huh... Huh. Also, I assume like you can only talk to... Yeah. "12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy." Oh, is there anything I can observe that we didn't? One of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. You're in for a Japanese kotatsu, putting your legs under a warm blanketed table. Don't put your feet into the fire! The armband! Damn it! What do you mean he doesn't? The pheasant. A year ago. Oh yeah, actually, let me take a look at this since we actually have it now. You see these little things all over the place, don't you? It's part of the top of a pocket watch that you twist to set the time, isn't it? It's called the crown, I believe. A watch would be useless without one. The crown, like what sits on top of Monarch's head. It's a very grand name for such a tiny pot. But actually, yes, Mr. Naruto. If this is a crown, I have a feeling I might have seen a monarch around here somewhere with a very bare head. If by monarch you mean pocket watch, then I'm quite sure you have. Okay, so we do need to like look back at the pocket watch now. What do you think, Mr. Sato? I feel sure I know exactly what will fit here. Really? I was just thinking precisely the same thing. We're about to see that little round component is actually part of Inspector Gregson's broken pocket watch. Really? I was just thinking precisely that too. And boop. A perfect fit. I knew it. Alright, perhaps you knew it. I'll make note of this new information at once. Man, we can't pull on it again. Actually, let's show this. Damn it! Nah, I think we actually need to show something relevant here. There is no room for doubt with your instructions in this telegram, Mr. Sholmes. You were very clear that it was Judge Jigoku's office that should be such, so... You obviously knew that's where this list of names would be found. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. When we only learned of those 4 names over just 6 months ago now. Only because they appeared as part of the top secret government communications that were leaked. That's true, yes. But at the time, you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that. Approximately last year, in fact, when you were both still in Japan.
It really would be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets. Because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communications between the British and Japanese governments. You're perpetually doing what? How? Never mind the details, but you should know. No secret is safe from Herlock Sholmes when he has designs on knowing it. Oh my, Mr. Sholmes, what a fabulous line. Now, 1 month after that list of 4 names was wired to the recipient Jigoku in Japan. Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. As soon as I learned of the incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my head. As it turned out, I was partly correct and partly mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow. Mr. Sholmes, please, tell us all that you know. Tell us about those 4 names and the tragedy to which they're all somehow connected.
Excuse me. Hold on, I need another drink.
As I said, when I learned of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan,
Whoops, hold on.
my mind immediately turned to those 4 names. Because you see, there was someone else on the list who I believed to be recently deceased. What? Who? A Shin, as it was transcribed in Japanese script. In actual fact, Miss Asashin. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's unsavory classes. Oh, I see. But she had completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed, and accordingly I became fearful for the lives of the 2 remaining persons on the list. Ah, Kei Asugi and T. Gregson. Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself, but I determined it would be safest if young Asugi were to stay away from Britain. Ah, that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going ahead. Exactly. So, you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Sholmes? Oh yes, Sholmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years. I recounted many tales about Asugi to him in my letters, and the news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course. Aww. So, Dr. Wilson is dead then? I didn't know. Oh, Iris. I know he wasn't my daddy, but still, that's very sad. I'm so sorry, Iris. We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you. No. But what you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie in with the facts. There's one big hole in your hypothesis. A big hole, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, yes. You mean about Asashin, I presume. Oh, of course. Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan posing as a visiting student under the assumed name Giselle Brett. Ah, I'm glad you're keeping up with me, my dear fellow. But I only became aware of the fact 2 days ago in the foyer of the great Waterloo Hotel. Ah. Upon hearing that startling revelation, the hypothesis that I formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy. What? Topsy? What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned topsy, Mr. Sholmes? I believed all 4 names on the list to be the names of victims. However, I was mistaken. Very much so. Assassin was a killer. So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed, and it would seem that Miss Shin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Her visiting student status being merely a front. Which of course would explain why no motive could be determined for her actions.
Oh. Huh. Assassin was a killer? No! I never would have imagined that Assassin was a killer. Whoa.
So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Assassin is because he was a target of an assassination. And armed with that knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective. What do you mean? Well, does it not strike you there's another among the 4 who subsequently became a visiting student? Wait, you mean... But of course, a name you know only too well. You mean... Kazuma! Oh! He did say in court earlier today. Yes, on 31st October I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. Young Mr. Asugi accepted that mission a year ago now. Surely not. In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say, detailing an assassination exchange. An assassination exchange? How could Kazuma have possibly gotten involved in something like that? And damn! Let's assume that we have 2 parties, each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. These 2 parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. Huh. That would then be an assassin exchange. So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Japan, where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Britain in order to eliminate his target. It certainly does sound like an exchange. But what on earth is the point? Don't forget, Miss Naruto, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction, thanks to diplomatic immunity afforded by consular jurisdiction. Oh yes. Such jurisdiction shall be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our 2 countries. So the fact that it was brought into play suggests intervention at the very highest levels. The highest levels. These murders were 2 sides of the same coin, linked not by a common motive, but by contractual agreements. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated. Yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular, devilish scheme. That disassociation and a safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. But wait a minute, Mr. Sholmes. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins as you're suggesting, it would mean that the Japanese killer's target was never Seishiro Jigoku at all. It would mean Asugi's target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? Kazuma was here for Gregson. So Judge Jigoku wasn't actually the mark. Yes, that's exactly what it would mean. I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe. Mr. Sholmes. I told him of my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. Obviously, with a young pickpocket in tow. Yes, Gina. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention that to us at the Great Exhibition. That he'd be transferring to Paris, to the Paris police and taking Gina with him. But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. This is too much to take in. Alright everyone, that's quite enough of all that serious talk for one day. Isn't it, Harley? I mean, look at the time. Ah, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow. What preparations? Well, I think I shall make my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember. It is a little bit sad, though. Huh? I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy. Because then Susie would have been my big sister. Never change, Iris, never change. I'm sorry, Iris. Susie Nason. Stop. oh boy. I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing. Were you? But if somebody like me would be worthy, I would be delighted to become your sister. What? Really? Oh yes, without question. So, you'll teach me all the ways you know how to throw Runo to the floor. Ryunosuke, this is your only moment to object right now. Yes, of course. It would be my pleasure. You didn't have to agree quite so readily. Oh, but wait a minute. If Susie's going to be my big sister, you could be my big brother if you want, Runo. Huh? I mean, yes, of course. If you'll have me, I'll gladly be your brother. Well done, Iris. We must always be mindful of feelings. I've raised you so well. Runo Oni-chan. Oh my god. Because being sensitive is your strong suit naturally. Right. I'm going to work extra hard for tomorrow now. Because it's for my big brother and sister.
Aww.
What's all this talk about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing what? You'll have to wait and see.
Oh.
Good luck in court tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance. I'll do my very best, of course. So the overnight break in the trial's proceedings became a crucial turning point. Exposing new truths whilst posing new conundrums. That list of 4 names on the telegram in Judge Jigoku's office. And the extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend somehow became involved. I felt as though I had plunged into an even greater darkness all of a sudden. But at the same time, I felt sure I would see the light again, soon.
What a family.
Because I was lucky enough to have the most wonderful family in the world standing steadfastly behind me.
Aww. This is really heartwarming. Well, one hell of a family. The power of family. Wait a second.
Not even the greatest of assassination plots can overcome the power of family.
All we need. All we need is like, what's his name again? Family over the law.
Wait, what was his name again in in Fast and Furious? The actor was Bruce Willis, right?
Vin Diesel, yeah. All we need is just like Vin Diesel to make like a last second like entrance in the trial, and then just submit the last piece of evidence without any question about who he is or what the fuck he's doing here, and then just leave. It's like power family, bitch. I don't know. Oh, I see, we're just going straight in. You know, before we begin today, I'm gonna stop here for tonight, fuck this. Because I'm gonna be here till 6 in the morning again if I go through with this. I do not. So, I'll be leaving this for tomorrow. I don't want a repeat of the last game where I know it was just it was a little mistake, and we're just kind of memeing at that point. 2 hours, my ass. Yeah, this will not take 2 hours. COTI. Oh yeah, was the international going on right now? Ooh.